Matt Hughes got sued. There was some type of a lawsuit. I don't believe that the police were brought in, but there was some kind of a lawsuit, civil suit. Matt Hughes was asked by a DJ to choke him out. So Matt gets behind the DJ and he chokes him out. Now, one part about that, like think about what you would do in that situation. Somebody who's behind you and they're choking out. Just you. Okay, great. Now let me tell you a surprise. You're thinking if it got tight, I would tap out. That's what you're thinking. You got to be trained to tap out. That is not a natural reaction. If you've never done any sort of a thing like this, your first day in MMA practice or your first day in jiu-jitsu practice, ow, stop. Those are normal. It is normal to yell out. It is normal to yell out to the extent that the athletic commissions have a rule and are enforcing the rule that they will stop something if you yell. Now, you don't see it a whole lot with the pros, but you do see it because it's just a natural reaction. And I'm just sharing that because this DJ didn't tap and this DJ went out. How much of that I just nailed perfectly, right? This was a long time ago, and when they did this, it was almost like there was a non-disclosure. Here, let us get you something. You don't ever talk about it again, because I felt like us, the audience, we really never did quite get made whole on that story. And I'm offering you that just so you don't leave me a comment saying, Chael, here, because there was also something about when Matt let him go. When Matt realized he was out and let go, that the guy fell, and that's when he hit something, and that's what he was really the most upset about. Okay, but stay with me on this. That wasn't the first. That had happened a number of times, and it was always with a radio DJ. So very seldomly would there be a camera on it. This was just part of the thing they were doing. One of them did it. It was like the domino effect, and they all started stealing the idea. I had something not wholly different happen with me. And I was out working out. I was on stage working out, and the UFC brings a fan up to work out with me. Now, they've done that a number of times. You guys remember that at all? Like Holly Holm was up there and kind of moving around with somebody. Well, they brought this gentleman to go with me. And tie clench, that's where they put both hands behind your neck. So I'm down there, and he was a little smaller guy, so I'm bending over, and I'm letting him tie clench me. And he begins throwing knees at my face, except I blocked them. And I had to keep blocking them, or he would have kneed me right in the face. It was what he was attempting to do, was to knee me in the face. So I'm blocking him up there, and I'm trying to ha-ha and play along, and I'm actually looking for UFC, like, hey, guys, are you seeing this is a really, really bad idea? They never came. They never caught it. In fact, I told them after the fact. They're like, oh, Chael, we didn't even notice. So, and there wasn't a lot I could do. I couldn't really make a stink about it. I was mad at nobody, by the way. I wasn't mad at the guy for doing it or the UFC for not catching it. The reason I was alerting them is like, hey, FYI, for future notice, future situations like this. All right. So that wave went around. And now there's a new one. You guys are seeing it everywhere, right? The radio DJ always wanted the fighter to choke him out. But now it's the podcaster wants the fighter to punch him in the gut. Anywhere in the stomach you want, but here's my stomach. Come on, give me a body shot. Who used to do that? That was Houdini. Houdini was the one that could take the body shots. You guys know this story? Every parent will tell it up until a certain age, but if you're out of the demographic, maybe you haven't heard it. Because it's very common for someone, hit me in the belly. It's like a game. Kids at a certain age, it's a game that they want to play. And Houdini used to go on stage. He would take shots to the body. And one time he wasn't prepared, and Houdini was very good at it. And he did have a trick. He had a very specific way that he could tense his body, and then just with his DNA, he could take some really amazing shots. I want to say they would even like hit him with a sledgehammer. Like this was something he would go on stage and perform. And a kid, not so big, walked up to him when he wasn't performing and hit him in the belly. Didn't know that he needed a minute, didn't know he needed to repair, and it ruptured his spleen, and he died. So when I see these professional fighters doing it with the YouTuber who's asked, I don't like it. I mean, right when I see it, I do get nervous. And there are some of these guys that can hit very, very hard. There used to be a trick. You've heard of the Gracie Challenge or the Dojo Challenge? That was real. That was a real thing in our industry, and people even looked forward to it happening. And what that is somebody would see your gym or your dojo, and they would walk in off the street, and they would challenge the coach to a fight. And the coach would always accept, but he would sit all of his students down when he beat up this borderline homeless guy in front of everybody. And it happened. It was actually a thing that caught on. I had one of those guys. Comes in and the coach says, all right, but before I fight you, and this was a common thing. Coaches will still do this to this day. They just won't tell you that it's a trick like I'm about to do right now. All right, let's start with leg kicks. Before we get into a fight, you kick me, I'll kick you. Let's just start with that. So coach goes first. Hey, let me go first. Let me show you kind of the tempo here. Coach goes first. He puts a good 40%. And if you're controlling a leg kick, you can take your shin bone and put it right into somebody's thigh bone, and it will feel as though they've been hit with a baseball bat. It's essentially the same concept. And you just start about 40, 50, somewhere percent just to get their respect, but now they're already hobbling. All right, now it's their turn to kick you. So they're going to kick you 40 or 50% if they have any kind of honor. So coach will say, no, hold on a second. I want you to use this, and he'll get a phone book. So the coach will get a phone book, and he'll put the phone book down so you can kick this kind of like for some padding, for some padding. Great big yellow pages phone book, and the guy will do it, and then the coach will tell him, go as hard as you can. I don't need the 30 or 40%. I want it as hard as you can. I've even got this phone book right here. So the guy will do it into a phone book, and almost 100% of the time he'll break his foot. And it's supposed to be this amazing thing of my foot broke while coach was using this certain padding to protect me. Well, that's the trick. And literally guy after guy will break his foot and leave, never knowing that he was just tricked, never knowing that if that kick would have gone in to a somewhat spot-givable part of the thigh as it was intended, he'd be fine. But that phone book made it out of purely paper, and paper is what? Wood. That's right. So now he's just kicked a hard piece of wood. Just a little trick that they would do when it's going around. Now, I tell you this because I got to Alex Pereira, and it seems to me the game stops with Alex Pereira. Like, there are some guys that you don't play with. I can assure you, of all the people wanting to choke one another or walk in and do dojo storms, they never walked in and said, I want to fight him, pointing at me. Because it probably wouldn't get out of your mouth, and you'd have already been in what you claim you're looking for. I would think that Pereira's the same way, but we've got this YouTuber. And he puts out a clip, and I'm trusting that there must be more to it. But the clip that I see is Alex Pereira is in a bunny suit, and he's punching the podcaster in the belly. Now, I've seen the belly punch. Ilia Topuria did it a week ago. Guys have been doing it for the weeks and months before that. The belly punch has been going around. Why is Alex Pereira wearing a bunny suit? That's the only thing that I can watch and think of this. I'm looking at the video and I'm thinking, what could possibly have happened? We're nowhere around Easter. We're close to Halloween, though I don't think that he would have dressed up as a bunny. I don't know. Maybe that's what it was. Alex punches podcaster in the belly for clicks on. Why is Alex wearing a bunny suit?